A huge moo to the herd, and welcome to episode 30 of our Omnifactory playthrough. So a quick apology. I was reviewing the previous episode and I realised the end actually got cut off. So if you were wondering in rapt anticipation of whether I made the Lumium, I did. I got a full stack in the end. It took a long time, but I've actually converted those into Lumium energy conduits as well. As you can see, I've got a full stack of those. So yes, Lumium all done. Apologies. It wasn't until I was reviewing the episode that I actually realised that the end was missing. So today we're going to carry on where we left off, and we're going to focus on getting Signalum and then the Signalum upgrade kit, because it would be good to get the numismatic dynamos upgraded to the next tier. The other thing is, I was looking at my blast furnaces. As you can see, I've got all of these along here and all of these along here, and I want to make basically a wall of blast furnaces. Now, I reckon if I've done the maths correctly, I should be able to get 14 blast furnaces if I share sides all along here. Now, the problem with that is I'm going to need 146 tungsten steel coil blocks. If I just put in my tungsten steel and say, because I've crafted up 128 blocks, if I do 146, how much tungsten steel do you think I need? Yes, 1040. That's a lot of tier 2 micro miners. And seeing as we're not set up to automate, or not even automate, to be able to produce those in a semi-automatic manner, that's going to be a lot. Now, there is another way of getting tungstate, which we can then electrolyze into tungsten, and that's with endstone. So if I go to endstone, which we can easily make up with some sandstone, and sandstone is just 4 pieces of sand, some ender pearls. We're making ender pearls for our pulsating polymer clay production, and extraterrestrial matter. Well, with all of the deep mod learning we've had going on, I've got an entire drawer full. So that gives us 8 endstone. And if I then use the endstone and pulverize it, it gives me endstone dust. If I then centrifuge the endstone dust, I get tiny piles of platinum, very useful, small piles of tungstate, which is what we're after, and sand, which is not that great, but it's useful, and helium, which I'm sure is useful for something, making your voice go squeaky, I think. So if I get my stone dust, as you can see, I've made up some already. We're going to get 2 stacks. And what I have made is a turbo centrifuge, which is the EV tier. We go downstairs. I have started clearing out a machine room. As you can see here, this is the new machine room, and basically all of the machines and everything else that you've seen in the old areas, they're going to be removed and replaced with EV tier equivalents. And here we have an EV advanced assembly machine, which we will be using at some point in the future. So if I take this, shove that in, and you can see I get lots of tungstate. In fact, I'm pretty much getting tungstate dust from every single process of it, which is great. And 9 of these will become one pile of tungstate, which I can then electrolyze and get tungsten. So that's something we're definitely going to need to set up an automated process to produce the endstone and then produce the tungstate to then produce the tungsten. It's just until I can get the package auto and extended crafting all sorted, so we can do the tier 2 micro miners and tier 3 and so forth. Because the last thing I want to be doing is to handcraft those each time. So yeah, I got a full pack of full stack of tiny tungstate, which can easily just be packaged, etc. So just too far. Let's figure out why that lift does that. Right. So if I just say, right, stick that all in. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there's small piles, even better. The small piles only require that. 16 tungstate. So 1 stack of endstone dust equals 16 tungstate, which will then be off and turned into tungsten. And that's a tiny pile of platinum. So we'll just take that and stick that in there. Oops. Popping in. Right, so what do we need for our Signalum? Signalum requires, again, blast furnace with primal mana. We've still got our blast furnace. A Signalum blend. So let's go to our pattern terminal. Wrong one. Signalum blend. Here we are. Add that in as a pattern. Drop that into my processing area. There we are. So if I want a full stack of Signalum blend, I need destabilized clathrate, annealed copper dust, red alloy dust, and ardite dust. Okay, let's do the destabilized clathrate first. So we'll take our advanced fluid extractor. We'll go over to our chemical processing area. And if we go around to here, this is our current one for energized clathrate. Now we want destabilized, so we want a fluid extractor at the bottom. Have I got a fluid extractor in my hand? I do. And I made a chemical reactor as well. Should really have checked that was the right one before it went pop. I suppose it's one way of getting rid of things. I'm going to need some interfaces. What we're going to need? We're going to need an ME interface, an ME interface, ME interface. We're going to need to output. Oh yeah, I should have done that first. Right, there's my wrench. Will this work? No, not even giving me the things. Let's just. I'm using the wrong wrench. That's why. So do that. Did that do it? Yes, it did. Oh, did it? No, it didn't. Okay, so that would be my output. Grab my chemical reactor back. Cool. Right, so we want output fluids from the top. We're going to need to pop input of. Right, what is destabilized? I think destabilized is redstone. Yes, it is. Destabilized is molten redstone and nether quartz. So let's go grab some nether quartz from down here and some redstone from here. Explain the P2P tunnels in a second. Have I got enough ME interfaces? I thought I had more than that. Make it 10 if it'll let me. Some fluix dust and some carbon dust. Relatively easy to fix. So fluix dust is just a stack of those. Take some charcoal. Just drop both of these in. Pop and pop. Should not take long. Oh, I've got plenty of charcoal dust already made up. And we'll wait for that to finish. I need to automate the production of carbon, I think. Because it is becoming a little bit of a bottleneck, and there's no reason for it because I've got plenty of materials from my pyrolyze oven and the distillation towers outside that will give me exactly what I need, so no excuses. That's fluix. Let's grab that in. Pop you in there, and make our ME interfaces. My caps lock still on. Start. Right. So the other thing I needed to make for our where are we? What's it called? Signalum blend. is ardite dust. So ardite. Ardite dust is a mixing of red steel dust and blaze powder. Okay, so we've got blaze powder, we've got plenty of that. Let's put that into crafting mode. And we're going to stick that on a mixer. Is this a... Yes, this is a patterned one. So I'll pop you in there. What else do I need for my aluminium? Signalum. If I wanted 64 of that, still need to get my destabilized clathrate, but we'll just wait for the ME interfaces on that. Annealed copper dust and red steel dust. So red steel dust. Red steel dust is, this is a really complicated one. Black steel dust, and bismuth bronze dust. Well, that sounds complicated. Right, so should we just do a mixer recipe on this one? Yeah, let's just do that. Add that one into here as well. There's a lot of mixing for this. Signalum. Still need bismuth bronze and red alloy and steel. Steel dust is not too much of a problem because that's just steel and we can make some of that up manually. Bismuth bronze, what is this? Bismuth. I have plenty of bismuth dust, which is good. Bismuth bronze dust is a mixing of brass dust and bismuth dust. Ooh. A lot of mixing. That one in. Signalum. Right, so I need brass dust, which I expected, steel dust, annealed copper dust. Right, so let's do brass because I think that's going to be the last one. Do I have a recipe for that one? Nope. Let's make that sorted. Make that sorted. Fix that. That's just zinc and copper. In case you're wondering why I'm running backwards and forwards rather than using my terminal, I obviously haven't named all of my interfaces, so I can't remember which one's which. So, right. Again, another thing that I need to get done. But where are we now? Right, red alloy dust, annealed copper dust, steel dust. So these are things that I can make up. So let's get, hopefully my ME interfaces are done. No, they're still crafting. Right. Well, let's just do some manual. Actually, do I have any P2P ME interfaces? Ah, I do. See, I knew I had some lying around. You have too many bags. This is always a problem. Anything else? So I've got 2. Could I get away with 2? I could actually start off the process. Actually. Hop. Right, so we want to be inserting redstone into that. That one, oh, I forgot the conveyors. Geesh. Conveyor. At least 2. Yeah. 2. Rubber sheets. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Alright, where's all that? This will take a few seconds. So if I get the destabilized clathrate set up, We then need to probably get a macerator recipe in place to start making dusks, because I'm doing it all by hand at the moment, and that's just silly. But I don't really want to add any more machines in until I've got everything upgraded to EV tier. So, rock and hard place. That's that done. How's our other recipe going? Still taking its time. Crafting copper cable 68. See, I would have thought that would have been done by now. Aha! I can see where the problem is. I'm out of rubber. So I need some rubber pulp. What's rubber pulp? I can't remember how the recipe. I think that's just centrifuging, isn't it? Yeah, centrifuge and rubber. So, good thing I've got that turbo centrifuge. Just run this all through here. Pop, pop. Oh, I thought we'd done it faster. I'll get a stack of this. And then drop that in, and that should get the last bit of that process running. And again, another thing that needs to be added to the list of things to do is to automate rubber production, soldering alloy, all sorts of things I've been doing manually. Because otherwise we're not going to be able to go into the higher tiers. It will just take too much time. Right. We'll drop this into our chemical processor. And that should then start producing rubber, which should then produce all the necessary wires. Just confirm that is the case. And do something silly like, switch stuff off. Oh good, that's working. Right, so we can let that run. And yeah, we're just waiting for everything else. So I'll wait for these to craft, and when we're back, we can progress with our Signalum production. So we are back. So ME interface number 1, and first of all what I want to do is slap down my conveyor, pop you there, grab my screwdriver, and you are to be import, ME interface on, and I want to add to you is redstone, and you'll start producing molten redstone, which will go sit up here, which is all nice and good. The second conveyor goes here, and again we want you to be import. Slap that on, and you are, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do, silly. Grab that back. Nether quartz. Oh no, I know where it's gone. Ah, quick, I must grab it. Actually, let's just grab some from downstairs. I've got to do some tweaking of the clathrate production upstairs, because whilst I've got the machine cover on, which will shut down the production of the molten glowstone, it produces so much that I've still got plenty of molten glowstone up there. So yeah, it is what it is. Right, so you in there, 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 and that's going to be producing destabilized clathrates. So if I grab my wrench, I want to put my output there, and that annoying noise is me collecting sugar. ME interface here, and auto output. this in my diamond furnace, which I haven't used for a long time. Okay, so Signalum, we have. I need some steel dust, that's not a problem. Red alloy dust, not a problem. And anneal copper dust. Right, so I'm just going to craft up a batch of that. We'll automate the macerating of that later. And when we'll be back, we'll be ready to do our Signalum dust and then make some Signalum. Okay, so I decided to not be lazy and just do manual stuff. Got this wonderful ore processing line here, which filters stuff by the right categories and everything else. And it's got these universal macerators, which are really fast. So what I've done is I've taken my chest, I've added an interface to it and added the dust patterns for annealed copper, red alloy, and steel. So that should mean that any dusts I need, it can just run it through my ore processing system and get what I need. So are we in a position to make Signalum dust? That is the question. Next, yes we are. So click, and it should start producing everything I need. So yeah, that's all looking pretty good. What are we waiting on? Bismuth bronze dust. So that's probably just going to be in the mixer, which it is. A bit slow, so obviously you need to upgrade that. How far are we along? Got to make the ardite dust up, which we'll do pretty soon after it's done the red steel. Oh, this is going to be quite interesting. Right, so it's just doing ardite now, which is another mixing recipe. We've got plenty of blaze powder, we've got our red steel dust. So we're halfway there. Yeah, definitely want to upgrade that mixer because it's clearly a bit too slow. Perfect. So we now have 64 Signalum blend. So the next thing to do, come down to our tungsten steel furnace. And oh no, I thought we still had a load of the stuff. Right. So let's put my Signalum in. And I will very quickly make up some mana dust. I've got mana infused metal. I just want mana dust and then extract that. So I'll be right back once I've got the fluid. Okay, so we're back. I now have 2 Signalum ingots. And just to give you an idea of time, even at EV tier, that took about 5 minutes just to get 2. The third one has just been done and there's a fourth one just on its way. So that's great. So that's that quest done. So that just leaves us with the Signalum upgrade kits. Having unlocked Signalum and Lumium, at long last you can now make Signalum upgrade kits. Provides more augment slots and machines and dynamos. Awesome. Dynamos operate at 500% of base power and fuel burn rate. Okay, so what do we need for our Signalum upgrade kit? So we need Restonia gears, Signalum plates, block of Lumium, and that's about it. So the important thing to remember is these, it's easy to make the Restonia gears. I'll look at the recipe for this. You can do it in atomic reconstruction if you make a redstone gear. A redstone gear is obviously 4 Restonia crystals around a conductive iron gear. But the easiest way of making it is to just take 4 Restonia crystals and stick them into a compactor with the gear working die on, which is what I've done. So that's given me my 4 Restonia. So 16 Restonia crystals gives me the 4 Restonia gears. Block of Lumium is just 9 Lumium ingots. And hopefully I've waffled long enough for the last of that Signalum to go through. Yes, so I now have my 4 Signalum ingots. So we need Signalum plates. We can put those in a compressor or we can put them in a compactor. So 5 seconds at LV tier. I've got my, I think it's a HV one or an MV one. I think it's HV. We'll find out. just get these done, and then we can make our first Signalum upgrade. Done. Obviously I'm going to want to automate that, and I'm going to clearly need to passive craft Signalum and Lumium. We'll just go to our crafting bench, we'll drop that in there, we'll drop that in there, and that in there, and click. First Signalum upgrade kit. Ding. And what should we do? We'll take the first numismatic dynamo. So it's current. If I just go into, I don't want to whack it on just yet. We look that the maximum power on this one is 6,250 RF per tick. I add my upgrade kit to it. Maximum is 12,500 RF per tick, and I've now got 2 additional slots for fuel catalyzers, which I'm just going to go and make, assuming I can. And I have 2 fuel catalyzers. I need wrought iron plates. Get me 9 wrought iron, which should not take long at all. Why are you taking some? Ah, there you are. Make a block. Stick it in my advanced cutting machine. Hopefully by the time I get back, I can make my fuel catalyzers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da. Okay, so I'll add those in, but we've now got a significant boost to our power. A massive boost to our power, it's almost doubled. So that's going to help with our power situation. Of course, I'm now bottlenecked by my end steel energy conduits. But thanks to Inominate in the comments, he suggested a way I can get around power issues. So you'll see that I have a Lumium energy conduit here. I have some ME conduits and an ME glass cable, and this weird thing, this is a P2P tunnel. And what this allows you to do, if I grab this P2P tunnel, drop that down. At the moment they're in ME mode, but if I whack it with some conduit, it becomes FE or Forge Energy mode. What I can then do, if I go into my feet, that's where I keep it, I can shift right click on the source one after connecting it up, and it will give it it will take the configuration from this P2P tunnel and copy it onto the memory chip. If I then go over to this area here, we just dig up the floor, I'm a vandal like that, you'll notice there is no power coming into this room, and yet this is powered. That's because down here is a P2P tunnel FE, and all I did was, once I assembled that, right click it with the memory chip, and that copies the config onto that, and I now have power flowing straight from that connector over there via the ME conduits to power cables over there. So what I could then do is, if I extend out my Vibrant capacitor bank, I can put P2P tunnels, 1 connection per area of the capacitor bank, and that should prevent the bottleneck of all the power flowing over effectively 1 cable. It's just 1 continuous cable. So I will be doing that when I upgrade the base. I just thought that was quite a good idea. I'd completely forgotten about P2P tunnels. So thanks again, Inominate. So I think we'll wrap the episode here. I've still got a heck of a lot of work to do, but I think the thing I want to focus on next is getting my blast furnaces set up in a long line, which means I'm going to need a lot of tungsten. So probably between episodes, I'll automate getting the tungstate from Endstone. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to give it a like. If you'd like to see more episodes, then please feel free to subscribe. Until then, I wish you a very pleasant day. Goodbye.